So, officers got a call this morning about a stabbing incident that occurred on a city bus here in the area of Central Avenue and I think 62nd, 63rd Street is where the bus ended up. Um, we've pieced together through investigation. Detectives learned that uh, the victim who was stabbed, got on the bus around Central and San Pedro area, and the possible suspect got on in the Nob Hill area. This was shortly after 8 a.m. At some point during that route, they made it over here to the southwest part of Albuquerque, and there was some sort of confrontation or fight on the bus, and quickly there was maybe one stab wound to the neck of the victim. We did have transit officers that work for the city that responded within a couple of minutes. Unfortunately, the victim lost a lot of blood very quickly and was declared deceased at the scene. So officers arrived on scene, called homicide out to start their investigation, and we have identified a possible suspect that officers are following leads, trying to locate that suspect at this moment. We may have a photo to put out to the public. We're waiting on that to see what transpires. But as of now, that's what we know about this incident.
We had heard of the victim had a gun also?
I'm not aware. I wasn't told that the victim had a gun.
Just to clarify, when was the call?
I'll have to find out. I was told that they saw video of the individuals on the bus shortly after 8 a.m. I could find out exactly when they stopped here at 63rd Street.
So did they both get off the bus and then stab him, or stabbed him on the bus?
No, it happened on the bus. I think the deceased victim is still on the bus currently until OMI gets to the scene. Not at this point. Well, I'm still waiting on our detectives. As I said, they're following some leads right now. It's very active in this area. There's another scene across a couple different scenes that the detectives are following up on, trying to locate this individual. They did get information out. I think we do have very good video from the bus, and they're looking for surveillance video from around the area. So I think they're able to get a pretty good description of what the offender looked like, and they've been looking for him.
Your experience, how crazy is this? Someone riding the bus and someone gets stabbed on the bus.
I would characterize it as there is some violence at some points. That's why we did turn over security and created a transit security system. We have officers, PSAs, and transit security who have been more active on buses, more active at bus stops. We tend to see more of the violence at bus stops or narcotics transaction, that sort of thing. That has been cleaned up quite a bit recently with the addition of these different officers patrolling and getting on the buses. But as I said, an officer was able to get in here within a matter of minutes. Unfortunately, it was too late for the victim, but we were able to try to render aid pretty quickly.
I couldn't hear because of the traffic, but you mentioned San Pedro and Central. Is that where the stabbing might have happened, or is that where they got on the bus originally?
I think the stabbing happened very close to this area. I think witnesses on the bus or perhaps surveillance video showed that it happened pretty quickly, and it wasn't even clear how much of a confrontation they had, but it does look like there was some sort of confrontation and a quick motion of a stabbing close to this area. So we're not sure if the confrontation started when they first got on the bus and it lasted to this area, but it doesn't appear so. It seemed to happen more closer when they got to the southwest.
Just any kind of advice to someone riding the bus and they see this kind of altercation, what can they do?
If there's an altercation, I think if you're a witness or someone on the bus, you could call 911 if you think that's an emergency. Otherwise, I would just be really careful if anyone else is in a confrontation. Try to avoid being part of any kind of confrontation. We just have no idea at this point. It seems to happen pretty quickly, and not knowing the details of what happened, it's hard to speculate.
And the victim, can you tell us if it's a man or a woman?
The victim is a male. I think an adult male.
Do you know if he was homeless?
I don't know any more details. Like I said, I think he's still on scene, and we're waiting for OMI to make an ID.
And you said you will be providing a picture of the possible suspect here pretty soon.
We're detectives are considering that. They were looking at photographs and video and trying to determine the next steps.
Do you have a description you can share with us?
Let me check with detectives. They didn't share anything with me yet.
He came flying towards me. I had blood on my shoe.
Yeah.
We didn't know nothing. There was a rap in the back. First thing he comes down, didn't know nothing. I don't know.
Was he stabbed or shot?
Stabbed.
Stabbed? On the bus?
Yeah, because they were arguing in the back. We were kind of in the middle.
Bus, where the back door opens, I was sitting here, he was sitting there. There was another guy there that took pictures. He took off his shoes, look.
Yeah.
He was wearing Nike. Then that's when they got in some kind of conflict. And that's it. But I sat there with my blood for a little bit, and I see that, and I told this guy passed me. And
I said, man, he was right beside him.
that's right, the people were in the back. They were stepping over on top of the seats, so you can't put their footsteps on it. But the one that did it, we have no answer. The only one would tell is the camera on the bus.
Yeah.